comes to succulents, it's easy to fall in love, as there are seemingly endless amounts of different species, varieties and textures to choose from. The art and gardening with succulents has been the bug of choice for me for many, many years. I'm not too caught up on all the different names and the genus and species. What I just get mesmerized by is the beauty, the shape, the textures, the uniformity, which just becomes mesmerizing. The fact that they are so easy to care for, they don't require too much attention, and most importantly, if you've got a small garden, you could have them in a hanging basket, they could be in a little window box, or even in a gumboot. They could grow anywhere as long as they've got some good drainage and the right amount of light. But for more details on this, we're going to go and find Josh and learn all about some different varieties which he really digs.
One of the most popular things about succulents is they're very versatile, and as gardens are becoming a lot smaller and we are more restricted with our space to work with, townhouses, balcony gardening and apartments, you can put the succulents on windowsills. You can make a mixture of succulents in one bowl, and the nice thing about them, if you go away for 2 weeks and come back home, they're probably still alive. Succulents are very variable. You can never have them all. Basically, you can focus on different species like Haworthias, or you can collect conophytums, or you can collect all different varieties. If you're looking to get into collecting succulents, probably one of the most popular and easy to acquire varieties would be Echeverias, the different rock roses. As you become more advanced as a collector, you could start to get into something called Haworthia species. They are also very popular at the moment. The most recognizable of the Haworthia species to the layman would have to be the attenuata or zebra plant. This one out of the lot would be the most likely to keep the tokolosh out of your home. So this is a great one to have. Basically, this is the Haworthia truncata, very slow growing, and the common name for this is horse's teeth. Moving on to the next one, this is the Haworthia arachnoida. Called that because you can see it looks like it's got a spider's web in it, and that would naturally protect it from the sun. This Haworthia over here would be the Haworthia maculata. It doesn't have the same protective hairs as the arachnoida. This one would be protected by a little shrublet next to it, or actually how they grow in nature is the soil washes over them and the dust sits in between the leaves, and it actually protects it from the extreme heat. This one over here, this Haworthia tessellata, the attractive thing about it is its little windows. It has the little veins over there which carry the nutrients through the leaves, and the little windows at the top allow a controlled amount of light through to the center of the plant, so it can actually produce all its energy and starches and sugars. Now these guys over here, they're very interesting little plants. They're in the Mesembryanthemum family. This one here is called a Lithops. This one here is called conophytum. In the layman terms, they would be, they're in the same family. Let's say they are like distant cousins, basically. These are the little seed pods over here, and the interesting about them, as they grow, the mature plant splits open and allows the baby to come through. They're extremely desirable, and they also have the little windows with the patterns on, which we think, oh, how lovely are these patterns, but they're actually doing a job, again, by allowing a controlled amount of light through. The conophytums over here, they're gaining popularity amongst collectors. They grow in the Cape. They do not like too much water at all. Neither of these actually like too much water. These ones are actually very difficult to keep alive, so people think. They are actually quite easy to keep alive. The most common mistake people make with them is put them in full sun and overwater them. Where they grow naturally, they have soil up to the windows, which protects the sides of the plant. And if we take this plant from the nursery and put it out in the full sun, The direct sun all day boils the moisture in the plant, and then we water it when we see it's dry. We come to it the next day and we see it's turned to mush, and basically we think we've overwatered it, but actually the poor guy is actually boiled in the sun. So the best position for them would be in morning sun. Keep them out of the harsh afternoon sun and water well once a week until it drains out the bottom, and then let it dry out in between. The conophytums, in winter, they look like they actually die. They get this covering which protects them from the harsh environment, and then as soon as they get a bit of moisture, they come through again and reveal the actual, the new leaves or leaflets. Now this guy over here is an extremely hardy plant. This is called Crassula ovatum. The variety is Gollum, or Shrek's ears. You can see that the form of the leaves looks just like Shrek's ears. What's nice about this plant is it looks just like a little bonsai in a pot. You can forget to water this guy in 2 weeks and come back to it and it still looks just the same. It requires high light, so full sun, good airflow, and not in a shady spot. The golden barrel cactus can be quite tricky to weed because the weeds that germinate within the thorns, you cannot actually get your fingers in there without hurting yourself. So I've got this nifty little tool. It's a bonsai weeding tweezer. If you cannot get your hand on one of these, then you could just use, this is an extended long nose pliers, but you can actually use normal long nose pliers, and you basically go into the actual cactus and you try to get the root of the actual weed itself, because if you leave that little root in there, it's going to coppice and just come out double the size it originally was. So that's a nifty little technique for removing weeds from thorny cacti. The common mistakes people make with succulents is putting them in the incorrect place. So lighting is very important. They generally naturally go in full sun or shaded for a very short portion of the day. So they generally would like to be protected, but also be exposed to the elements. So it's quite important that they dry out in between watering. It would be advisable once a month to feed your succulent plants with a liquid fertilizer. It will be convenient to water it. Using dry fertilizers can actually burn the plant, so you'd want to avoid that.
So guys, if you're looking to start your succulent collection or just to find out more, search the internet for specialist growers and societies in your area.